的耳旁，静静唱，静静唱，那首钟开天地。
Of many questions before I studied the Master's teachings, I read the book of changes, Ching, trying to catch the flow chart of my fate. I observed the living surroundings, feng shui, the elements of water and the wind, trying to better my fortune. I prayed and made many wishes in temples. However, all the efforts were in vain. I was finally tired of those useless philosophy, obsolete doctrines, and miracle stories. I wanted to have something real that I can see and I can hear myself. Last spring, Supreme Master Ching helped me open my inborn enlightenment. Since then, everything around me has changed. In fact, nothing around me has changed. I changed my perspective of life. Every morning, I feel happier than yesterday. The Supreme Master Ching has helped thousands of people recognize that the truth, the enlightenment, is tangible, is real, and we can use it in our daily lives. I believe that you also have lots of questions. Please get a piece of paper and write down any questions concerning your beliefs. Master will reserve some time to answer your doubts. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Supreme Master Ching.
Thank you. Thank you. 谢谢. That was very nice. Thank you. Finished?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's your turn.
Now it's my turn. And I hope the ladies and gentlemen will understand my somehow broken English. Every day for many years I spoke Chinese, and even up to the last minute Chinese was driving a car, Chinese food, Chinese conversation. I was in the car, I was wondering if any English will come by when I go to the stage. I was a little bit not really nervous, afraid that my English would die somewhere. But we will try it together with your blessing. Every one of us has a great blessing. The blessing flows out from our sincerity. That's what we call God's blessing. God's blessing is human's blessing. God resides within us. So with your sincerity and your devoted attention, my English probably will improve each minute. So my very dear friends and good brothers and sisters, it is the first time that we see each other. But I believe we have a lot of affinities in the past. According to Buddhism and even Catholicism, we believe there is life after life. And we believe there are many so-called cause and conditions. Whatever happens today is the fruit of what happened in the past. That is the law of cause and retribution. What we call karma in Sanskrit. Karma, it just means whatever you sow, the same you shall reap in Christian terminology. You understand my English? Yeah, it's okay? Oh, you're very kind. Then I will get encouraged. I'm so happy. I'm so happy that you, the ladies and gentlemen of a very busy society and very high standard civilization, would save a little bit of your very valuable time and even come here to listen to a stranger coming from a strange land. I'm so happy. It means God's blessing is with us. I'm surely doing something well. All of you are probably expecting me to say something more than just a politeness. and how are you, and weather is fine. So I will get right to the point, not let you wait too long. Is that okay? Yeah. Everyone's comfortable? Yeah. You see, it's not the first time that I give some information in America, but before it wasn't very publicized, just in New York, in a small group of people. But anyhow, I was thinking, if we have some good things, then we are obliged. We have the duty to share it with our fellow beings, with our friends and brothers and sisters, whether they accept it or not. That is their full right. But I have the duty to proclaim it, to introduce it, and then let our brothers and sisters make the choice. Therefore, I feel bound enough to come and share with you this joyous occasion. It's a blessing from heaven, or from whatever the mightiest power that you might name it. In different countries, we call this power by different names. In Chinese, they call this Tao. In Sanskrit, they call it Buddha nature. In other schools, they call it Chan or Zen. In Christianity, they call it God's blessing or heaven. But where is this heaven? We look in the Bible and it says, heaven is within us. I mean, in our heart. But if we operate on our heart, would we find any heaven? No, that's true. Yeah, we have, some people have heart attack and something like that, and we open it, see nothing inside. So there must be something else besides this physical heart. So actually, the ancient people, when they say heart, they mean our wisdom, our thinking. It's not this physical one. So how is it that the wisdom would be called heaven? Because if we have this wisdom, we feel we are in heaven. We feel so happy, so satisfied. Today, while driving to San Francisco, we live in San Jose at the moment, at my disciple's house, and she drove me here. We were talking on the way. She was telling me that since initiation, after learning the method from me, then she was practicing not quite very diligently, just off and on. Yeah. And then I asked her, have you acquired any blessing, meaning any satisfaction? She said, yes, definitely. Inside, I feel so satisfied and so joyous. But outside, there are some people who do not understand. She cannot use the language to express her own inner joy. Therefore, it's kind of creating some misunderstanding, because the language is not enough, it's not sufficient to describe this kind of inside joy. It's a heavenly blessing. Because the word of heaven and the word of ours are different, because they're different spheres. It's just like the word of animal people and the word of humans are different. Even though we are living in the same world, animal people and us sometimes are living in very close contact. But the animal people will not understand us very well, and we do not understand the animal people. Of course, there are some animal people who are almost like humans, like the dog, the cat people, or the horse people. Sometimes they can feel almost like how human beings feel, and they can respond in a very humanly way. And we seem to establish that between the man and the pet person, there is some kind of a very, very close affection, no? Yeah. And we think we understand each other. Even then, there is still a big gap between a man and the animal people. Similarly, there are some human beings who have super knowledge and what we call supra-intelligence, great intelligence. And even though from the outside they look exactly like us, inwardly they are not the same. And that's why sometimes if we reach such height in intelligence, we cannot express it to the other ones who are in a lesser degree of intelligence. Is my English still clear? It's okay? Yeah? Thank you so much for your kind support. I don't know how many 10 years since I use English. Since I left England, I hardly use English. Even in Germany, I would speak the German language. So since then, I think it's been about 10 more years now. I'm so glad to exercise my tongue again. I love to speak English. Yeah, I just have no chance, and I was so afraid today I might not express myself very well. So now we come back again to our topic. Why is there such a difference between human beings? We can see very well for ourselves. In our daily life, we meet different kinds of people. Yeah. For example, the scientists, they are a little bit more intelligent than the average people. We expect so. Even though from the outward appearance, they look exactly like us. You cannot tell at first glance who is the scientist and who is the physician, or who is the lawyer, who is the president, for example. Of course, the president we can tell right away. I'm sorry, I make mistake because he's too famous. Or the television is broadcast his face and we all know. But I mean, for the ordinary intelligent man, we cannot tell right away. Is it not so? Yeah. Now, this kind of intelligence we can acquire for ourselves. Just like we learn to become a scientist, and we learn to become a doctor, or a lawyer, or some kind of more specific intelligent people. For example, when we were young, we had no knowledge. We could not read nor write. And then slowly, by learning, we knew how to do it. And then we learned many things by the way. Now, the same thing, we can acquire greater knowledge, what we call supra-wisdom. What we call wisdom. It's not a human so-called intelligence, but a cosmos wisdom. This is something not very mysterious and not very difficult to acquire. I was so surprised. After I acquired it, I was so surprised that it is so easy. It's kind of what the Americans say, know-how only. Know-how. It's the same like every science, every work, every specialty. It's like learning how to build a bridge or learning how to make an airplane. 100 years ago, it would have been impossible to think that one could fly from America to Taiwan just 10 or so hours or 20 hours. Then you are right. 100 or so years ago, it would have been impossible to even imagine. Isn't it not so? Yes. And now, with the development of science, everybody takes it for granted. It's no problem. Today, to sit on an airplane is like to sit in a taxi. It's just a little bit longer distance, that's all. Now, we may enter in a different era, and even a higher scientific civilization. We can transcend the space limit and even the dimensions limit, the word dimension. Up to now, we learn to know only, I think, the third dimension. Is that not so? If I say something wrong, please correct me. I'm still very young, may make mistake. But there are some ways to know the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, the 10th dimensions, etc. If we only know how. This kind of transcendental way we can acquire through our own effort by the help of someone who has already known the way. And that is very easy to understand, no? It's just like if you want to become a doctor, then you go and find a doctor and find a medical school and learn with those who are specialized in the field. And then after some time, some years, you become a doctor. Simple as that. And now, these are the science of the word, what we call earthly sciences, like to make aircraft, to make spaceships, to make auto, cars. Auto, is it English?
Yes.
Yeah, because some English, French, and German words are similar, so I'm wondering what I'm speaking. See, I have friends of all nations, and sometimes I would mix up language. The best thing is that we learn the Kuan method, the enlightening method, and then we don't need all this complication. We can communicate from within. And from America, you know what the people in Taiwan need, and you know how to help them. And that's why many people are interested in becoming enlightened. Inside of us, we have great wisdom, great power. And this is what we call Christ power, or God power, or Buddha nature. It's the same thing, just different countries name it differently. I'm glad that you have no discrimination in your mind and that you have come to listen to me. It means your heart is very broad, and it's easy to communicate. If someone just clings to one religion or another, it makes it difficult for me to communicate. Those who come here, it means somehow that you are very open-minded. So I feel very relaxed and feel very close to you somehow, very close. I don't know how you feel. Is it close or not close? Huh? Is there anything very close? Yes? Oh, I'm so happy. And that's good. That means we have something in the heart, some affinity. Yeah. So then we go further. What makes Jesus so great? What makes Buddha so famous? What makes Lao Tzu, Zhuang Tzu, Kong Tzu so famous up till now? It is the power that they have acquired. We all have this power, I may inform you. My information doesn't give you this power. My information doesn't make you great. It is you who are already great. It is that you do not know. It's you forgot to use it. So I have the honor to inform you. Maybe you remember it, or maybe not. But it is my duty to inform you. Because since I have found it, I cannot long for anything else in this world. I am free from any desire. So I think some of you out there in the world would long to have the same kind of joy, the same kind of complete fulfillment of satisfaction, that we have no longer this kind of struggle. I don't know what is missing. I want to find something. I don't know what it is. We have husbands, we have wives, we have wealth, we have money, we have position, we have everything that society can offer, but we still feel lonely. We feel something is not right. And that is because we have not found our home. We have not found this Christ power within us. We have not found heaven within our heart, or we have not found our own Buddha nature. That is what's missing. So I have found it, and I thought I must inform you that there is a way that is very easy and beautiful and costs nothing, costs no complication, no changing of any society, any environment, no shaving of the head. You don't have a look at my head. You don't need to do it. You don't need to do it. You still can find the same power. But I already shaved, so I continue to shave. Just to show you that we don't need to change anything. Whatever we are, we stay like that. Maybe tomorrow I will feel like, and I might grow my hair. That makes no difference to me, or you, or the Buddha nature inside. Jesus found his power. Therefore he was so great. He could heal the sick. He could open the wisdom eye. He could take people back to his Father. Therefore he was great. Buddha found his power. That's why he was a Buddha, a well-honored one, the most honorable among human beings and gods. I don't mean the greatest God, the Almighty. I mean the small gods, the devas. There are great gods and small gods. So he was greatest among gods and men, because he had found his power. Confucius and Lao Tzu, they all found this power, and many, many countless more beings have found this power, and they became great. Whether they are famous or not famous, it makes no difference. They found it, and that's it. And that makes them happy. That makes them joyous and mighty. We are human. Every religion would tell us humans are the best kind of beings that we can get. Even the angels have to bow to human beings. God says so. When God made human beings, He has told the angels they had to bow to us. And then one or two did not bow. So God punished them and sent them to hell. That was Satan, the one with the two horns and ugly looking. I have never met him, so actually my description is it's not very dependable. I can only tell you about God, how beautiful He is. And the Buddhas, and the angels, and the fairies, and all the beautiful beings in the cosmos. Cosmos? Yeah? Yeah. If I tell you something wrong, please correct me immediately. Let me have a chance to learn English. Like this, I can tell you from the beautiful side. Yeah, the ugly side I've left behind so long ago, I might have forgotten what it looks like. Yeah. But if you like, maybe you can go to hell and have a look. Actually, when we practice this path of truth, we can't even go to hell, but as a visitor. Yeah, and we can go when we want to, but not as a prisoner, not as the one who goes and has to suffer, but the one who goes and blesses. We go to hell, and all hell immediately becomes empty. We have to go sometimes to rescue our relatives, our disciples, our friends, our husbands and wives who had been astray before we got initiation. So we must go sometimes, but we are free to come and free to go. The Master will take us there and take us home. Now we don't talk about hell. It will scare everybody to death. We don't often go there. Sometimes only. Actually, after initiation, most of our relatives are being rescued immediately. Most immediately go to different sphere to live in happiness. But in case some of them are so heavily obstructed with their own dark thinking from before, or from the many lives before, they may have to stay there a little bit longer, and we may have to go down ourselves and take them home. I think you have reached some of Swedenborg or something like that. Have you? Swedenborg? Yeah. Yeah. Have you read that he went to hell and rescued some people? Yeah. Go home and have a look. I haven't even read myself. I haven't. I don't know where I learned this information from. I haven't read him. Okay. But you may read. It's very interesting. Now, he is not the only one. Buddha also went there. Buddha's disciples went there. Jesus went there. Jesus' disciples sometimes went there. And our disciples also go there. And they go back. They can also tell you something horrible that makes you feel as a nightmare. But we don't go there often if we don't have any mission. If we have nothing to do there, we don't go. We have to only go upwards to higher and glorious worlds, to be near to our Almighty God. The ocean of love and mercy, this is what we call God. He is not a being, although he might manifest himself sometimes as a kind of a being to let us feel close to him, touch him, and communicate with him. But otherwise, he is only an ocean of love and mercy and of bliss, blessing, and compassion. Everything that's good and joyous, that is God. We ourselves are, at the moment, even without initiation, even without knowing our innate wisdom or our inborn heavenly power, we are still mini-God. We are still God. Anytime you manifest love towards your neighbor, towards your children, your friends, your relatives, or anyone in need, at that moment you manifest God. Understand? So, the more we manifest this kind of compassion, love, mercy, and wisdom, the more we are near to God. But God, in this sense, is too limited. We can only love one or two persons, and we can only help a handful of persons at a time. God, in the ultimate sense, can help the whole world. So this is the goal we strive to achieve. That is what the Buddha achieved, what Jesus achieved. Actually, Christ is not his name. You must know, Christ is a title. It's like Buddha is not his name, it's a title. It's to indicate an enlightened being, an almighty power. And when we acquire this power, we become Christ. Maybe Marilyn Christ, or Joseph Christ, or Smith Christ, because he was Jesus Christ. But we become a different Christ because our names are different. So therefore, we can say Sakyamuni Buddha, or we can say Sakyamuni Christ. It is similar. It's just a different country, they call it a different name. I think there was a Hebrew name for an enlightened master. It's a Messiah name, the name for the Messiah, no? I think it is like that. If you have a Jewish people here, please inform me more. It's just like in Sanskrit, they call an enlightened master a Buddha. And now in modern times, we call him a guru. And they make everybody confused. Why is a guru different from a Buddha? Actually, a real guru is a Buddha. A Buddha means a guru. Guru means a darkness remover. It means a light giver. It means when you associate with this kind of person, he will remove your darkness of ignorance and give you light. Therefore, Jesus say, those that follow me would never walk in darkness. He say, I am the light of the world. But he also say, as long as I live in the world. He was afraid that our later generations would misunderstand him, that he would forever be the light giver. So he had to say, as long as I live in the world, I am the light of the world. He wouldn't say, I am forever the light of the world. And he say, after I go, I will send some comforter and to bring the later generations home. So do not grieve for him. He means when he dies, another will come. It is like that. Just like when somebody asked Jesus who he was, he said, I forgot the saint's name, but he meant that he is the incarnation of those past saints. Is it not so? Have you read? Yeah, that's good. At least somebody gives me some support. Because sometimes we read the Bible and we quickly forget, or we might overlook this information. And when I talk again, it seems like very strange information, but in fact it is there. It is ancient information. It's not my information. So the same, sometimes I speak to the Buddhist people and they also think I'm speaking strange things, because they thought they never heard of it before. But I say this is stated in the Bible, in the Buddhist Bibles, in the Buddhist doctrines. So it's the same when I speak to you about Christian Bible. Sometimes you may feel strange if you don't remember. So the same as someone asked me, the Buddhist doctrine would have the law of birth and rebirth, or the law of karma. It means the law of cause and retribution, cause and effect. They say to me, Christians don't have this. I say, yes, Christians have it. Because in the Bible it says so. As you sow, so shall you reap. Is it not cause and effect? Then what is it? But for your information, I may also inform you, the Bible was cut, censored, and erased so many times. Many information was not allowed to the public. But as we know, many people did research on Jesus' life, and they have also discovered many information which is very startling to us and was very useful. It is something like this. Like Jesus was vegetarian since he was a child, and now the Roman Catholic Church would not accept this. But the fact is the fact, yeah? And history is history. No one can change that. It's just sometimes the facts and the history are so unknown to the humans at large, to the majority of humans. Therefore, sometimes when somebody says, it seems like very strange information, that is all. But if we take time and patience, we will collect for ourselves vast information heretofore unknown to us. Is it not so? Sometimes in your own working field, you also suddenly discover something new. And the same with the scientists. They forever discover something new. And what is unbelievable today, tomorrow is proved to be very trustworthy. It is like Galilee before. Is it Galilee? Who say that the world is round, no? Is it him? Hey, yeah. And they say the world is round, and then the church imprisoned him. It's just like that. It's so hurried, so impatient, and so inhuman. Sometimes the dogmatic people can cause this kind of disaster because of ignorance. And hundreds of years later, we all feel sorry. And for what? We cannot make up for it. We have lost a great talent. Humans have lost a great talent and a great prophet. I think he did not use his own eyes. I think Galileo did not use the human eyes to look at it. They might have not even used the telescope. Huh? What did he use? He used his wisdom eye to see. And he could only see the truth. Therefore, he spoke the truth. And at that moment, if there was developed science, they could have proved it, but they were not so far advanced. Therefore, they punished a nice person. After all, he didn't care what kind of level he attained, how enlightened he was. He was such a beautiful person, so harmless, innocent, and just imprisoned him like that for nothing. Now, these people are those that acquire their inner wisdom, like Jesus, like Buddha. They were so ahead of their time that people couldn't stand them. We can just say it that way. Therefore, when Buddha was alive, he knew everybody worshipped him. There were many people tried to harm him and tried to kill him and tried to disparage him, tried to blacken his name. When Jesus was alive, of course many people worshipped him, but there were many people harmed him and tried all kinds of tricks to kill him. Even though the church knew that Jesus was innocent, he was still powerless against these wicked people. Similarly, Galileo, he was also so great a person, a prophet of the time. He was so far advanced. Therefore, people could not catch up with him and did not understand his ideas and his wisdom. So therefore, we see science is not always up to date. Now, what we should do is to follow our own wisdom. Most of the scientists, their brains are in very active use. They use a lot of their brain, more than the average person does. Therefore, they discover and invent so many apparatus. They can invent many things to add to our comfort. But what they use is even just a little bit of the wisdom that our Father God has given us since the day of our birth. Now there is a way to use our complete wisdom. And it's so easy that everyone can do it. And if I can do it, just a small person and weighing only 30 or more kilos can do it, I think you're so great, big and tall, you may even be able to use more. And that is our hope for the future. Because we can't always rely on material science. We have to also rely on this kind of spiritual science, which brings us so far in advance into the worlds beyond the world, and that gives us joy and meaning to our existence. Because I think, more or less, most of us always wonder, what is human existence for? Why is that God make us live only 400 years and then He would let us die? It seems a waste of time. Imagine if we lived longer, a few hundred years, a few thousand years, we would accomplish more, no? Yes, truly it is so. There is a way to live longer. But we do not live longer in this body. We have to live longer in a different body. There are some bodies that can endure several hundred years. There are some bodies that can endure several thousand years. There are some kind of bodies that can endure several millions of years. And there is a body that can live forever. And that body is a wisdom body. And we have to use a wisdom method to achieve it. Just like we use a medical method to achieve a medical doctorate degree. And we use a wisdom method to achieve our wisdom body. With this wisdom body, we fear no fire, no water, no disaster of any kind, and we feel no pain of anything. I have no words in the human language which I can think of to truly convey to you, my brothers and sisters, this greatness of our wisdom, of our Christ power inborn within us, what we call the heavens within. Lo and behold, the heaven is within you. Everybody says it like that, and everybody knows that. But if you ask them, what is heaven? And where is it within? And what does that heaven do to me when I carry it around 24 hours every day? What could it do it for me? What is its use to me? What is the use of that heaven within me, that I'm every day miserable, struggling in this meaningless world, and I have to deal with all kinds of vexations and jealousies and all kinds of, from inside and outside, bad influence. And then what is the use of you talking to me about this heaven? Yes, I would agree with you. It's no use. Only if we know it, we possess it, we make use of it, then it begins to become useful. Otherwise, you can carry it 100, 1,000, 1,000,000 or billions of years, and it makes you nothing more than just a human, a worm, a lion, or a tiger person. Be what you may. It is like that we have to know this heaven, that I have to come all this way to inform you, that you may know your own treasure. Whether you believe me or not, I just rely on your wisdom. But it is easy to believe because one has the proof. After one gets the initiation, immediately one has proof. And every day more proof. Every minute more proof. Every second you live in a different world, in a different mental outlook. The world doesn't change. My friend just said to you, the environment didn't change, she changed. Yes, because we cannot change the world. Doesn't matter how advanced we are in civilization, doesn't matter how much material comfort we have, we all feel the same misery. Isn't that so? We still have to deal with our vexation. And this vexation money cannot remove. Happiness, money cannot buy. Therefore, we read newspapers, we see on television so many millionaires commit suicide. So many great persons cannot bear the burden of this world, and they end their life tragically. It is because they forgot their everlasting treasure. They rely on the ephemeral treasure. Therefore, Jesus says, lay not your treasure on earth, where the moth and rust can corrupt, but lay your treasure in heaven, where it is forever lasting. He means find your own treasure, the everlasting treasure. Then you can always draw from the source, and it will always supply. Therefore, this is infinite blessing. I say again and again, I have no words to so-called advertise it. I can only praise it. I can only hope you believe my praise. And I can only hope that my so-called radiations, my energy, my magnetic field will somehow affect your heart and lift you up to that kind of joyous feeling, and then you would somehow believe. And after the initiation, you can truly know what is the meaning of my words. Now I'm only advertising for the cookies. You have not tasted, but the cookies are free of charge. Therefore, I don't know what else can I do. If you tell me to come and sweep your house to prove that I'm sincere, I would do so gladly. If you tell me to shine your shoes to prove my sincerity, my selfless service, I would do so immediately. I have no way to convey to you this great blessing which God has bestowed on me and which I have the right to distribute. He doesn't only give it to me, He gives me the right. He allows me to distribute the same to everyone that comes, free of charge and free of any condition and any taint of material desire. Now, I think we have made some communication. Have you felt something of my sincerity? Should I continue, or have you been sent to sleep already? Not yet. Okay. Then I continue to say a few words more, and then I let you ask some questions. Any kind of questions. When I'm speaking, if some questions flash through, you note it down, and later you can give it to me. Any kind of questions, I would answer. Before, I had not met this method. I had not practiced. I had not gotten in touch with this great blessing of wisdom. I had tried many kinds of things. I did any kind of social work. I felt obliged to help those in need, just like some of you here would do. But then, the more I help, the busier I become. And the more it feels like you don't help enough. It feels the more you help, the more people need. It feels like your time and your energy are so limited, and the world is so vast, and so many people are suffering, and you alone, or even 100 of you could not help that many people. And then I was thinking, what did Jesus do that He could help so many people? And what did the Buddha do that people say that he could be at any time, anywhere, at the same time. I was thinking very hard. And then I thought, hey, this won't do. Because I'm already very small in stature. And my energy is limited. I can only do so much, and then I collapse. So what did the Buddha do that he didn't collapse? That he helped so many people. And I read the sutra, the Buddhist doctrines, the sutras. Sutra is a Sanskrit name for doctrines or scriptures. I read that the Buddha, he could use his manifestation body to appear in any place at any time. And so we call it in Christian terminology, ever-present, no? Omnipresent. Is that so? Yes. So you see the Buddhists and Christians are speaking the same thing. Even in Hinduism, they talk about omnipresence. That means you are anywhere at any time at the same time. And you are here. That is what being omnipresent means. And now, can we acquire this omnipresent status? Yes, we can. Buddha can. Jesus can. And somebody else here also can. I would not mention it. Can you guess who? Yes. You can guess. I would not say it is embarrassing. Now, if somebody can be omnipresent, can you imagine? Isn't that so great? Yes. Yes. And we think only Buddha can do it. Only Jesus can do it. And we think Buddha appeared only once in millions of lifetimes, and Jesus only came once in many lifetimes. And this is not logical. It is like we humans, in any era, any period of time, suffer illnesses. So in every period of time, there has to be doctors, has to be physicians to heal our sicknesses. Human beings, since ancient times, have suffered from mental dissatisfaction. This is a kind of illness. If we have an illness in our physical body, it's easy to heal. We take pills, we have an operation, we take some injections, and that's it. We are okay. But the mental suffering, no one can heal. The vexation every day that life's pressure gives us, no one can lift up. Therefore, if Jesus only offered his face, offered his blessing once in billions of lifetimes, in fact, from what the majority of people want to understand, it means he only appeared that one time and never again. And that is underestimating God's mercy. This is what the civilization brought me. It's air conditioned here. I live in Taiwan. It's a countryside. And we live in open air. I live in a tent. We all live in a tent, and our temple is also a tent. We don't build temples. We don't waste money and make a lot of noise. So we live in a tent, and we live in open air every day. And now I was stuck in this air-conditioned, packed full jumbo jet, and immediately got cold. And this is civilization's advantage. I can't help it. I'm too sensitive. So, actually, you don't look at my example. You look at me, I'm so small and so skinny and so sick. You think to practice this method has no use. Oh, it has any kind of use, all kinds of use. Except when you are a master, then you have no use for it. If you are a master, you can give only, you cannot take. That's the difference. Your disciples are very comfortable, enjoying all kinds of joys, happiness, blessings. But the master has to suffer. That's why we say Jesus came to uplift mankind, to cleanse their sins. And he himself had to be crucified. He himself could not enjoy any privilege. Therefore, people scolded him. People crucified him. People criticized him. So, Buddha was also the same. He also suffered from illnesses and from people criticizing him and all kinds of petty things. Anyhow, so don't feel scared. Once you learn this method, you are protected 100% blindly by God power. The master is an exception. The master has to endure all kinds of suffering, and that's the difference. The master alone has to suffer. Everybody else can enjoy. But this is the joy of being parents. Just like the joy of being parents, yes? The children enjoy all comforts, and the parents have to work hard, provide all things, and take all responsibilities. We don't complain to be parents, so one should not complain to be any kind of master. Yeah, a real master has to suffer, so no problem. Now why am I going so far? Where have I been before? What did I talk about? Before that, before the cold. Before the cold, what was it? Yes. Oh, yeah. But that was because I was talking about suffering. Before that, what was it? No, that's also included in the suffering. What was it before that? Cause and effect. Cause and effect. Yes. Omnipresence. That's good. That's more important than who is living in a tent and who is having cold. It's like this. It's also not because of the civilization. It's really unfair. Even the cigarette. Yeah. In the airplane, so many people smoke. And this also contributes to my health. Why is it when somebody acquires this inner power, he can become omnipresent? It is because he is connected with the whole universe. So in Chinese Taoism, they say 万物同一体. It's Chinese. 万物同一体, it means you and the universe are one. Or, as Christ put it, I and my Father are one. What does Father mean? It means the cause of the whole existence, the parent of all beings. And if you are one with the Father, he means you are one with the whole cosmos. He means like that. He achieved this state of enlightenment, of the higher level of consciousness. Now, enlightenment doesn't mean you go around with a light on your face. But it can happen. People will see you with light around if they have their wisdom eyes open. Now, we see Jesus' drawings and Buddha's pictures, or the saints have halos around them. That is their light. So actually, that's exactly what it means by enlightenment, because they have light. Actually, there is light. But this light, we cannot use our normal mortal eyes to discern. We have to use the wisdom eyes, or the heaven eyes, or the God's eyes, the Buddha's eyes, or the Tao's eyes, whatever name you call it. Yeah, Jehovah's eyes. So many religions make a different name, so we are confused. Now, how to acquire this eyes and how to acquire this light? This is the purpose of my coming to you tonight. I would like to share with you the simple technique to attune yourself to this God power, or Christ power, or Buddha power. Then you will become Christ, you will become Buddha, you will become you and your Father are one. Like Jesus. Jesus did not say he alone is a son. He said all beings are the Father's children. No, the Bible says God made man in his own image. That means we are likened to God. And not only Jesus, but he alone realized that, or his few disciples realized that because he took time and practiced to discover his own great level, his own great status in the universe. We have not done so, therefore we are ignorant of our greatness. And we are walking around on the street like beggars. Oh, I'm sorry, no, I don't mean you are beggars. What I mean is, compared to your own inborn greatness, we are really beggars. We are even worse than beggars. If we know how great we are, then we feel very sorry for our previous ignorance. That's why Jesus was so diligent, running from one place to another, telling people, you are sons of God, you can be God, you can find heaven. Lo and behold, heaven is within you. You can find heaven now. And then Buddha also ran around for 49 years, kept telling people, everybody can become Buddha, everybody has Buddha nature, everybody can become Buddha. But very few people listened to him. Why is that so? Because we are so deep in our own habits, in our environmental effects, and we forgot. We cannot imagine there is anything else beyond this world. We cannot believe there is any more happiness than our money, cars, homes, husbands and wives and kids and all this. Because the world binds us down to this level of understanding. They want us to understand that, only that, nothing else. And we are busy every day, so we have no time to think. Sometimes it flashes in our minds very quickly. Hey, yes, what is it? What is this life for? What is it? I want to know heaven. I want to know God. How to know it? And then the next minute the kids come and, Mama, I want this, I want that. Or the husband comes and then the two of you fight and then that's it, heaven is gone. And then the next minute you completely forget about heaven and God is thrown into the dustbin. You don't know him anymore. You only know your vexation and how to argue with your husband or your wife or tell them to shut up. and then you're so vexed and then you go and turn on the television and then you laugh with these comedians and then that's it. And that's our heaven. And it's just a pity we live day to day like this. And we don't need the TV to become happy. We don't need the comedians to laugh. We can laugh every day within ourselves if we know where heaven is and how to find it and how to discover it and how to use our treasure every day. And not only we can use it, we can distribute it. Someone who knows the heaven within radiates a kind of beautiful, blessing energy around him or her, making everyone else just look at them and feel happy, feel trusting, feel assured, feel very friendly, feel very close, and feel comforted. Therefore, Jesus, after he acquired this power, he could loudly and proudly say, "Come to me, all ye that are heavy laden and tired, and I will quicken you." He meant he could do that. He did not boast, he told the truth. And may I repeat that here, the same thing. Because I don't do anything different than Jesus. We have the same mission. I understand this gives you a shock. But if I don't say that to you, what else would I say? Or what am I here for? Actually, I'm so ashamed to say that so quickly. I meant to leave it, but I think it is my personality. I'm too straightforward. Sometimes I cannot conceal things, and I forget. Sometimes I'm not flexible enough. often give people a shock. I just speak like a bomb, and then people cannot accept it. But never mind. Whatever has to be said, it is God ordained. And if He meant you to go home, then you will go home. If your wisdom is open enough, you would believe whatever I say. When it's not open enough, whatever I say has no meaning to you. Is it not so? When even Jesus was alive, many people did not believe Him. Therefore, who am I to expect many things? Today is the first day, and I was thinking, how would I make friends? How would I make you feel that we are long-time friends? And then I was thinking, but we don't need to do that. Because the God power within us will unite us together. And the language is only very small, convenient, experience, meaning. It makes not much difference. Most of the time, the great masters, they don't use language to convert people. They use their eyes and their energies, their radiance. And as I have just spoken to you minutes before, someone who acquired this Christ power will radiate this kind of assurance, kind of trustworthy atmosphere, and make people believe what he says. And they feel very comfortable. Even his touch and his eyes will heal many sicknesses. Jesus, he did not use magical power. People all think he used magical power. He did not. He himself is the magical power. Anyone who came in contact with him will get benefit, get blessing, get healed, and get joy. It is like that. Even his disciples would have this kind of blessing power. Today in the car again, we were speaking about the benefits we disciples derive from practicing this Kuan Yin method. Now, what is Kuan Yin? Kuan Yin means you contemplate the inner vibration, the inner music. The inner, I cannot say it's music, but that again, I cannot say it is not music. And yet I cannot say it is a vibration. I don't know what it is. In the Bible, it says the word, the sound, the vibration. So it says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And everything was made by this Word, and nothing that is made is not made by this Word. Word means sound, vibration, inner music, celestial, I'll say.
Internal divine sound?
Yeah, that's it. Thank you. We Chinese say, 那个振动力呀, it means inner vibration. But this vibration, we cannot use the ears to hear it. We cannot use any kind of our human sense organs to touch it or to grasp it. We have to use our inner senses. The inner sense is from the inner self. The inner self is the real self. It's not the body. The one who inhabits this body, that is our real self. And when we hear this inner wisdom or inner vibration, that means our inner self has been awakened. So when we say somebody experiences a great awakening, that means exactly like that. Awakening, who is awakening? Every day our eyes are so big and open and we are not awakened. You must be joking. No, I'm not joking. We are not awakened. We are only awakened when we are enlightened. When our inner self awakens, now it is sleeping. Therefore, we cannot experience the inner world or the blessing from God or from heaven. We are In this world, we are living, swimming, suffering in this material, physical, mortal world. So we are dead. Oh, sorry, I shocked you again. We are alive again when we are awakened, when we experience the awakening from within, when our real self, real person awakens. The Prince will come and give us a kiss of life, and we awaken. And that is the moment of awakening, as a called enlightenment. It's all the same thing. And now, why did I say we are dead? Because we have eyes, but we don't see much. We only see from here to there. We have ears, but we don't hear much. We can only hear a little bit, a very short distance. And we don't hear the celestial music. We don't see the heavenly abode. Abode? Yeah? So we are blind, deaf, and dumb. Yeah. This is a pity. We have great eyes, great ears. We can hear 1,000 miles. We can hear from here to Taiwan. We can see from here to Germany. We can see from here to heaven. We can see from here to hell, and we don't use it. So we call ourselves deaf and dumb and dead. It is like that. We move within a limited space and time. We can walk about 200 miles and then we collapse. So we have no power. We can see only a little bit, and we can be awake only for a certain amount of hours, and then we have to close our eyes and sleep. But there is a person who never sleeps, who doesn't need sleep, who doesn't need to eat, who doesn't need to do anything, and he knows everything, he sees everything, he hears everything. That is our true self. That's what we call God, Christ's power, or the Buddha nature. And we have to awaken that person. That's called awakening. After we awaken that person, we will be omnipresent. Slowly, slowly, we will become, I and my Father are one. We will know everything without knowledge. We will see everything without looking. We will hear everything without listening. Therefore, in the Bible it says, hearing you hear, but you do not understand. Seeing you see, but you do not perceive. That is the meaning. It's like what I have just been explaining to you. Seeing you see, but you do not perceive. Hearing you hear, but you do not understand. What is that hearing and not understanding? What is that seeing and not perceiving? It is because our seeing is not really seeing, but an illusion. The real world is beyond our physical eyes. The real world is beyond our physical ears. We have to awaken the real selves in order to experience, to perceive the real world. That is what the Bible means. By seeing you see, but you do not perceive. And after we are awakened, we are connected with the whole cosmos, with the whole universe. And then we are no longer working alone. We work with God power. We are connected like a network. You understand? Just like we are connected together by the radio television network or the telephone network. You understand? Just dial a number and then everybody knows what happens. Or just broadcast some news, and then the whole country, the whole world knows what happened in America or what happened in Taiwan. And that's a network. But this is a physical network. And we have a finer, a more subtle, a more super network. And that is what we call being a co-worker with God, a co-worker with the cosmos, a co-worker with the Buddha. That is what we call becoming a Buddha, becoming the all-knowing, mighty, omnipresent. And then you can stay here and talk, and then you can also at the same time appear in whatever country that needs your manifestation. That is called omnipresent. Then you can sit there and listen to me, and at the same time you can manifest many bodies and go to different countries or different places to help people who call you for help. That is being omnipresent. And that is a great goal that we should set before us and which we can achieve. And it's very easy by devoting about 1/10 of our everyday time, and we can achieve that in a short while. And even if we don't achieve this omnipresent status, we can achieve a great power and great benefit for ourselves, our relatives, our friends, our neighbors, and our countries. We can radiate light to heal all the many miseries in the world and can help many people. One of my disciples, he is a doctor. He's very young. He just graduated, understand? Just graduated. And he has no experience with surgery. But anytime he operates on anyone, that person, he is sure to recover in 2-3 days. And these people normally have no more hope. Like one case, today we were talking in the car again. One of my disciples, she's there. Her son is a doctor in Taiwan. And her son is very young and has no experience in surgery, just graduated, a new doctor. Normally, he's not allowed to do any independent operation. You know that, huh? A newly born doctor. But the many desperate cases is already nearly on the waiting list to death, so he can try. Anyhow, they will die, understand? Therefore, he can try his hand. And you try, and then the person goes home in 2-3 days. Actually, already desperate, like the lungs are full of water. Eh? I'm speaking here, and the person is there, so you're not afraid I'm telling any lies. Today, we were driving here, we were talking again, and they kept thanking the master how much benefit they get and how much they can benefit others. Therefore, it became again a topic. Now that doctor, anytime he touches any person, that person immediately goes home. And other doctors say, how you do that? You understand? He doesn't know how even. This is just a very, very small aspect of this Christ power or the God power that I meant to convey to you, that you yourself have. Not that I will give to you, or anyone gives to you. God gives it to us. We are born with it. God is so merciful that when He sent us into this world, He was worried that His children might be in want. So He provides us with anything, everything inside. It's just we forgot how to use it. And then we come here, we feel so lonely, helpless, powerless, and we are miserable. And we are unhappy. Therefore, the most happy person in the world is not really happy. Because if he doesn't know where his real happiness, where his everlasting happiness lies, then he is not really happy. So therefore, everybody has some kind of frustrated feeling something's missing, don't know what it is. Doesn't matter how much money we have, doesn't matter how beautiful our wives, our husbands are, somehow we don't feel completely satisfied. Just like when my disciple today mentioned, she is now fully happy inside, very satisfied. I said to her, I'm happy for you. And even then you don't practice very well. You're not very diligent. And you still have so much benefit. She said before, every day she got a headache, was dizzy. The whole body wasn't in order. And after initiation, of course, eating vegan. And now she's so healthy. Therefore, her family completely supports her. Thank God that she manifests some sign of physical benefit. Otherwise, the inner benefit, no one can tell. Understand? This is only physical manifestation, and so little as that. And even though she doesn't practice well, she's a lousy practitioner, I might say. I can say I'm happy for her, even with just a lousy devotion, you still can have so much benefit. Then do not doubt that a person who devoted completely body, speech, and mind, the whole body and heart for God, understand? For the path, for the practice, of course she or he will get the healing power, the whole benefit of God's blessing, and then she or he can give it to others. So there's no doubt about that. That means even though she practices so lousily, she got so much, many other things that she's completely satisfied inside. Before she did not know what she lived for. She was depressed, this kind of depression. And now she's completely happy inside. And nobody knows that except seeing that her body is healthy and she has no more sickness and all these kind of things. This is petty, insignificant benefit. But that got some good points, because then her family is seeing that she doesn't go berserk. So they support her practice and do not hinder her. And that's the only good thing about that. Otherwise, this is not what we are looking for. The physical benefit is not worth our intention. It's just that what I mean is even a fraction, a small fraction of this power would change so much in our lives, our environments, and anyone that comes in touch with us, that we are so puzzled that this kind of power really exists. And it is nearly the 21st century. Quite nearly. Yes. What I mean is it is the very scientific era. And people, if they listen to this kind of my talk, they might think I'm talking about fairy tales. Therefore, it is difficult to convey our message to the world at large, however much I'm impatient to do so, and however much my disciples are excited to do so. They still have to be patient and play low. It is very pitiful, but there's no remedy for it. Even when Jesus was here, he did not save many people. Not many people followed him. And Buddha also, not many people followed him. Only after they died, then they became more famous. Why? Is it easier to worship a dead master? It's true. Because they have no words. Whatever you want to believe, he wouldn't correct you. Whatever your false faith, he would not scold you or would not hurt your ego. That is the meaning of that. So, after the master died, everybody come and worship and make a big deal, make pomp and show and everything. But when the master is alive, it's difficult. It's hard to survive, let alone to transmit any power or any doctrines. Therefore, in Chinese, we say, since ancient times, the real master's life is like a very delicate thread. It means easy to break it. The life of a master is very dangerous. They mean it like that. Because they are so ahead of their time that whatever they talk about, the majority would not understand and would not be able to accept.